What's going on, everybody? So today we're going to be talking about the new update and what we could do to prepare, because it is going to be going live upcoming here after this video drops, probably that night. It is September 26th, so you have one day to kind of get everything in order. I'll just go through a sort of checklist here that you're going to want to look out for to do some last finishing up things. All right, so first off, we have the thing that I really want to talk about, and honestly, everything else is kind of just natural things in the game. Obviously, we have the new dungeon and all that type of stuff, and all these different things, as well as, if you didn't notice, at the bottom here, all the sets are going to be shuffled in every dungeon. So before you go and start farming dungeons tomorrow or the following day, make sure you know which dungeons drop which set items, because they're going to be completely changed. With that being said, just to give you some background information before I dive into some things that I think you should be finishing before this update drops. Castle Cirengar, this is the main piece of content that's going to be added to the game, and it has everything to do with warbands. Now, there's two different types of game modes with this new update. The first one is going to be actually purging the castle. This is basically to give you your initial warband setup, and you're going to have to clear this. This is, from what I understand, a one-time reward, and you're going to get access to unique bonuses, and you can actually upgrade these and access different rooms. Now, who gets assigned what room is completely up to you and your warband. Obviously, you're going to want to get this and get these bonuses because they apply to any game mode you're going to be doing in the game. So like 3.5% damage could actually be a huge thing. Extra movement speed could be a huge thing, etc., etc. Then we have the actual defense of Cirengar. Now this is where you start to access the unique kind of the legendary essences and the unique bonuses and the stats. You're going to have the standard mode. Now this is what you're going to be looking out for. This standard mode is once a week. Now, based on what we received from the previous updates, we probably will be able to need only 4 members from the warband. I mean, right here you could see you'll need to work in unison with your warband to hold back the infernal tide. So it doesn't say that you only need 4 people. However, from a previous kind of statement, they mentioned 4 to 8 players for the warband raid. I would assume that this is going to be the same thing. However, it's a little bit different because as we're doing the standard mode, we can get access to the ancestral weapons. These are things that drop or have a chance to drop from these game modes. Now, these ancestral weapons and ancestral blessings are going to give you extra stats. Now, whether or not they give you extra combat rating is yet to be seen, but they'll at least give you extra stats, and then they'll give you extra bonuses. Now, each person can put their own weapon in here. So if you want to get a head start, be sure to get all 8 members of your warband weekly on this new game mode and do it once a week. You only need to do it once a week. The endless mode, from what I've seen here and what it says, the top warbands will receive the Cirengar defense portrait frame, so it has nothing to do with actual rewards in terms of progressing your character. So you only need to do this once a week. After you do that, you'll get your chance to drop the weapons and you can start progressing them. Again, the only way you progress them is through that once a week type thing. I'm not sure if you can get warband chests to get you more gear. It doesn't really mention that anywhere here. While participating in the Castle Cirengar activities, gear that drops has a chance to possess an additional invocation property, etc., etc. And all this stuff just has to do with the warband activity. Therefore, all you need to do upcoming in terms of new content is a once a week game mode after first clearing your warband town or castle here. With all that being said, and we know what is coming, let's talk about what we would need to do to prepare. First thing, obviously, is to get into a warband or have plans to go out and get into a warband with at least 4 consistent members. Obviously, you're going to want a full 8, in my opinion, if you want to get that maximum head start. And you're going to want to make sure that they're going to be online or flexible so you can actually participate in the game modes. This is obviously the crucial step that about 90% of you are going to have a really tough time to do, maybe even 95% of you. And this is the thing I hate about this game mode. So I really feel for you guys out there that aren't going to be able to get a warband together. I absolutely understand that. That's going to be your first step. After that, be sure to at least catch up to Server Paragon. Now, I've been 240 for a couple days now, and tomorrow or the following day after this video is released, I'll probably drop about Hell 5 is here, because that's when Server Paragon level will reach 240 and how much combat rating I got from that. But I reached 240 about a couple days ago. Battle Pass is resetting. If you're not Server Paragon level with this event, with double XP and all this stuff, you should absolutely be pushing for Server Paragon level, at least 238, which is when the, or 240 is when the update's going to drop. So the update literally drops as the day's Server Paragon level will be 240. So you absolutely are going to want to reach 240 so you have the extra combat rating. We do not know if these game modes are going to be combat rating gated, and if they are, you're going to be really having a hard time if you do not have 240 already on your character. After that, after you've gone ahead and gone for 240, at least try to farm a couple of pieces of Hell 5 gear. If not, go ahead and do that challenge rift over here. If we just go ahead and go through, I think it's maybe 120. I'm not actually quite sure, but there's a challenge rift here. It's going to give you access to, there's 140. Once you do 140, you can go ahead and get Paragon 240 gear from gambling and all that type of stuff, which is very important, so that you can go ahead and just gamble up for some pieces that may be super big improvements. Gonna want to improve your combat rating as much as you possibly can, just in case it is combat rating gated, and you do need to make sure you have that. The third thing here is going to be making sure you grind for your set items. Now, this is something I've been doing for the past couple days, and I've been very unlucky. I've farmed over 100, I shouldn't say over 100 dungeons over the past 2 days. I farmed over about 60 dungeons over the past 2 days. Granted, that's not a crazy amount of time because each one takes about 4 minutes. So it's about 4 or 5 hours or so in terms of dungeon running. But I still have yet to get the set piece I want. But getting those set pieces, especially like a 4-piece plus 2-piece, it's going to be very important for you to go ahead and get some extra power for these game modes. Again, I'm not sure if they're going to be super difficult and combat rating gated, or if they're just going to be very simplistic. And it's just like a completionist type thing where you just go ahead and do it every week. And as soon as you have people to do it, you can do it easily. Not quite sure on that one, but you just make sure that you're prepared as much as possible. With all that being said, that's pretty much what I'm doing to prepare for this event upcoming. Again, the thing about this event is that you're going to want to have at least several different people able to be online at the launch of the event, so you can go ahead and jump in and complete that weekly event. There isn't really a crazy amount of other things to note about this event, because the event is purely based on the warband here. There is still some of these other events that are coming out. Realistically, like the Hungry Moon, these are just very basic events. There's also new legendary gems, so if you care about that, new set items and all this stuff, really not a huge thing. However, legendary items acquired from warband chests can now have their transfer, which is pretty cool. So if you do happen to get a warband chest and you do want to farm with your warband members with that extra drop rate from completing the event, that is kind of cool. Other than that, there really isn't anything else to prepare for. You just have to make sure you're as strong as possible and you are actually in an active warband, or you have members or looking for members that can participate in this content. The end-all be-all, the TLDR here, I guess at the end of the video, is make sure you have a warband ready to go at the launch of the update, and you can go ahead and purge the castle, get your room bonuses, and then do your defensive Sirengar standard mode. And then after that, there isn't really much for you to do, as far as I understand, based on what it says in this update. So do those 2 game modes and you should be right on track. It's 10 gated, so not super huge rush, but definitely make sure you are doing that. You only need to be level 20, so it might be not that hard. We'll have to see. I'll let you know. I'll have a video on it upcoming, and we'll see. Hopefully it's exciting. Hopefully it's interesting and worth the absolute hassle that it has been, because I really don't necessarily like the warband. We'll have to see next couple days if it's even fun. So see you then. If you did enjoy, be sure to like the video, sub to the channel, and I will see you for the next one.